because what people didn't know just from seeing that video is just the day before he died. You wouldn't even know that looking at the photos. He died. I was sitting in the room with him while he's intubated, and somehow the nurse put like high blood pressure meds too quick, or what the doctor told him to do. My husband went into cardiac arrest right in front of me. And I found out I was born a refugee child and grew up in Elgin. We came here with $40 and a dream, which is what I named my first book. So I was born a homeless Lao refugee after my parents had fled the war and everything. And I grew up in Elgin, but I never knew my story, never knew my history. It was on accident that I learned about my crisis. Like, okay, who am I? I'm not Asian enough. I'm not American enough. Like, who am I, right? I went through this identity crisis during my high school time, and it led to a very, very dark path for me. It led me to a very dark path.
No fear, no stress, no overextending, no L's, just lessons, no failures, no weapon that formed against you shall ever mess with your endeavors. No L's, just lessons, new mail, new questions, new money that's printing, new life get to live in. It's a new year, that's a given. Welcome to the new year. They say you won't, but you will. Climbing over 2 hills, I love you just like Drew Hill. New year, new blessings, no fear, no stressing, no overextending, no L's, just lessons, no failures, no weapon that formed against you shall ever.
1, 2, 1. Oh, there we go. So nobody can hear, so I got to go back to the beginning. Okay. It's something I thought I pushed the button. Can you guys hear now?
You can say hi.
Yo, what up? This your boy DJ Roby, aka Jada Barber.
Vanessa B.
And welcome to this lovely edition of This is Bananas podcast with our lovely special guest, Miss Laura Robertson, aka Pon. What's going on? We gotta run it back. We gotta run everything back.
Sounds good.
Once again, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, as I was talking before, I there was a lady that was writing books. She wrote a book for this person. She wrote a book for that person. She was writing books for everybody. We had guests that come on here when they shared their stories. And they was like, oh, this lady, she'd be at the library and she was writing books. She'd help us write books. So I'm like, man, that's kind of like interesting, because I was interested. I'm like, man, I got a story to tell too. But who is this infamous lady that's writing books? Nobody knows who this lady is because she doesn't have a name. From there, because we was talking to them in the wintertime, and from there, it went to the early spring. Late winter, early spring, and there was a story that was circulating on social media. It was an Asian lady with an African American guy and with some kids, and he was in a hospital battling terminal illness.
Yes,
I did not know. I did not know how truthful this was. I did not know where this was at. Come to find out, this was right here in our own backyard. Like, yo, this is right here in Elgin. This is taking place right here. I'm like, oh, okay, man. So then, I seen that he passed away. My condolences to you and your family. And I was like, man, you know, like I experienced grief. You know what I'm saying? I experienced loss. You know, so I was just like, man, like she just had this story. There was a story to be told. And then from there, once I seen the picture of you, I started to see you pop up more. You ever notice, like, sometimes where you don't pay attention to something, then when you start paying attention, you start seeing a whole lot of it. You was that. So I'm like,
algorithm.
You became the algorithm, right? I'm just like, wow, like this is really her. The next thing I know, there's a salon opening up on the west side of town. With a barbershop. You got some people that we know that work there, but we did not know that you was the person that was behind the movement. Then all of a sudden there's an opening of a juice bar, a nutrition juice bar. And here it is. You're the face of it. And I'm like, yo, wait a minute.
She's
This is her. You and she. You got a lot of man.
Yeah.
Like you was right. Let me tell you. Before I get into the art of before
Popped up.
My ear popped up. It's still on here.
It's still in? You can't hear me?
Mm-mm.
1 2 1 2 1
Is
2.
it this?
Yo, yeah, it just.
Oh, okay.
I got you. I got you. I'm back. I'm back. Okay.
So in the midst of this all,
Mm-hmm.
you lost your husband in the late winter, early spring.
Mm.
And for some reason or another, it seemed like you got on a rocket and you took off driving. A lot of people aren't built like that. A lot of people will suffer loss and they'll go into like self-preservation mode.
Mm-hmm.
They will go into, they will start to grieve. And everybody takes their time to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
But what I liked about your move was like, you took this loss and you said, you know what? I'm pressing forward.
Yep.
And you put your shoes on, you laced them bad boys up,
Yeah.
you tied the motherfuckers down extra tight, and you got with it.
Yes.
You turned your loss into a gain.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, man, I'm proud of you
Thank you.
for that, because it takes a very strong person to do that. And you did it in honor and remembrance of
Yes, my husband.
your husband, because that's what he wanted
That's
you
what
to
he
do.
wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So your husband had a story that he wanted to tell. You
Yes.
mind telling the viewers about your
Absolutely.
okay.
Yep. So my husband, he was working as a marketing director. He was laid off last January. And I think from that, he started to get into some depression. His mental health started to deal with him, because here he was, providing for the family, making 6 figures, and all of a sudden he was laid off. And that took a toll on him. So I noticed, he was getting a little bit depressed. And then I noticed he started to get a little sick here and there. I'm like, come on, babe, we got to go get checked, and no, I'm fine. And he started to sleep downstairs. He didn't want me to worry while he was getting sick downstairs. And we just kind of brushed it off as, a cold or a flu, and finally I'm just like, we got to go get checked. This is not normal. Right. So we went and got checked on the end of May. We went to ER and they pretty much like, oh no, he's fine. It's just a sinus infection. He's okay. He's okay. Just take some of this sinus infection meds, and just brushed us off and told us it's okay. Just go. So he was okay for a little bit. And he started to get sick again. And he still pushed through, because he was the one. Last year I was on tour. I'm an author coach as well. And so I had several speaking engagements, and my husband was a trooper. Even through him being sick, he was trying to put a front that he was okay. And so I noticed, going through the airport, he was like winded. I'm like, what is going on? I had to push him with the wheelchair and just ignoring the signs, right? I'm fine. I'm healthy. Off and, I'm a healthy man, so he just kind of brushed it off. The whole time we were in Texas, at another event that I was at, he stayed back at the hotel and he was again sick. Then he drove me 30 hours to California. We thought, let's take a trip. He's always wanted to drive across the country. And at that time, he was also feeling a little bit sick, right? And I'm like, babe, this is not normal.
Right.
And in July, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was a very, very hot day outside. Like 100-something degrees.
Okay.
And he likes to be outside, chilling on his den. And he came in the back door, dripping sweat, and I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what animal did you fight with? Because he had blood, sweat dripping everywhere, and he didn't even know.
Wow.
Yes. I'm like, what would you get in a fight? I thought he was like fighting with the animal or something out there. Bruises everywhere. The back, he had leaves and stuff. And he was like, I don't know. He just came in. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Came in, he sat down. I'm like, we have to call the 911. We've got to call the ambulance, you know. No, I'm fine. It's just heat stroke, probably. Let's just wait, right? He didn't want to go to ER. No. So I said, okay, but you don't look very well, you know. So we kind of brushed it off again. And then he just didn't get any better. Then the end of September, he started getting sick again with the same symptoms. And once again, we went to ER. And once again, they're like, oh, he's fine, brushing it off in ER. I said, no, he's not fine. He's not fine. I need you to look and see, why does his stomach hurt? He has a big stomach ache. Don't just let us go. Don't just have, he's fine. All his vitals look good. They were going to send us away.
Right.
They did a lung scan and everything. The scan looks normal. This was in May. And, his scan looks normal. You know, it's fine. May they took a scan. In September, when he came in, they were going to let us go again, even though he lost 20 pounds. They're about to let him go again. He'll like, your weight loss is a little concerning, but everything checked out. Like, you look fine. Everything looks good. And I was just like, well, why does his stomach hurt? And finally, they did a scan of his adrenal glands. And they said that his adrenal glands looked like it could potentially be bleeding. And so we're like, oh, gosh, it's probably from the stress. When I looked it up, I'm like, stress causes hemorrhaging of the adrenal glands. I'm like, AI, right? So I looked up AI, and that's what I'm guessing that, AI said. So, so they finally looked, and then they're like, we're going to admit him. Then the very next day when they admit him, they're like, we're not sure, but there's a possibility of cancer, right? But we still didn't know. They let us go home. Let's just wait to see, what happens. We still didn't have confirmation at that time. We're just like, in denial, like, no, nothing's going to happen, So October 18th, I'm in the middle of just getting home with the kids, him and I having a regular day, grandkids running around. It was, October, so it was around Halloween. It was, so I'm thinking that he's messing with the grandkids or, our kids too. And I hear a loud noise. We're in the middle of a conversation. Hey, babe, I just got the bill. Did you pay this? Did you pay that? And he's over there. He's responding, having a normal conversation. I'm in the living room. He's sitting in the office, the chair, and I hear like this, but I see the grandkids running past. So I'm thinking that they're running from him because he's like making scary noises at them. And I'm like, babe, why are you making scary noises at them? And I was just grandpa messing with you. Next thing you know, I hear a collapse. He collapsed, hit his face wide open. He's underneath the office table, just having a convulsion, blood coming out everywhere. And my son, my 16-year-old son, I blacked out. I didn't know what to do. My 16-year-old son, I'm calling for him. Cello, come help me. He jumps from across the railing to come save his dad. And because I blacked out, I didn't know what was going on. I guess my husband was choking on his blood because he was convulsion, and my son actually saved him that day because he pulled dad over and he had blood all over him holding his dad. Dad, stay with me. And that's the day that we found out. After we went to ER, we found out that, I'm sorry, sir, you have your full lungs, both lungs are stage 4, and it has metastasized to your brain. You have tumors all over your brain.
So wait a minute, time out. He went to the hospital prior to.
Yes.
And they sent him home. Without doing tests.
Yeah, they did. Sent him home.
That's so many. That's so many questions.
So many questions. I know.
That's so many questions.
So many questions I have too.
So many questions.
Yep. You know?
And then it'd be hard when we're not physicians to be like, you know, you have to do this and this and that. And it's like you put your trust in them and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
That's just so many. That's just so many questions.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They sent us home, and then we're told because it reached the brain, because it metastasized from the lungs to the brain, it's categorized automatically as a stage 4. So he ended up with the stage 4 cancer. And the doctor told him, if this was 10 years ago, we would tell you that you only have 2 weeks to 2 months to live. But because we have advanced technology, we're going to try and prolong your life as much as possible. And that's what they told us. And my husband, because I ended up having to work 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs, running the business, everything, getting him back and forth to his cancer treatments, it was a lot. And because some of the times I had to Uber him to his appointments by himself, I wasn't there for him when the doctor told him this, but I read through his notes and he was keeping it from me. The doctor said, discuss with patient that estimated prognosis is under 1 year. So he knew this, but he was trying to keep it from me. And I read the notes and I saw this. And then all of a sudden, he's a very private person. However, you're faced with death, right? All of a sudden, I'm dealing with him and talking him out of killing himself. Because he's like, I don't want to put you guys through this. I just want to out myself, you know? And I'm like, you can't. You can't do this. You can't do this to us. Think of us, you know? And he decided that he wanted to write a book, and with the time that he has. So that's so brave of him, because he's such a private person. We've been together 20 years. He's a very private person, but his wishes were to let this story be known, let this be known, what he's going through. And but not for people to feel sorry for him, not for people to feel sorry for us, but so they could shed a light that it's time to live. It's time to live. Life is too short, right? Take your health more seriously. He was very adamant, like up until even the week before he passed. He made me jump on Amazon and order those massage chairs that we give out for free at the nutrition bar. And his exact words was, I don't want other people to just let their lives, dwindle away and not take care of themselves. I want people to come here and just de-stress and just relax and just come and sip some nutritional drinks and start, unplugging and just massage, get them 15-minute massage with every drink. That was his plan. I'm sitting here like I'm not mourning, but I'm sitting here going through what I'm going through. And you're like, get on Amazon and put that order in. Did you do that? That's priority.
Right.
He's like, I think I'm going to go this weekend. Like can you imagine? He's just like, I think I'm going to go this weekend. He doesn't it's like a ticking time bomb. He didn't know when he was going to take his last breath. But if I go, just know that I love you. Hurry up and finish that book. Right. He wrote all the chapters. We're pretty much done. I just have to plug in the ending and we know how it ended. But it's deep. It's every chapter is deep. It's coming from him, how he experienced facing with death, how he experienced having to face death. And it was through mine and his perspective. He wrote his part. I wrote my part through my lens. He wrote his part through his lens. I piggybacked and wrote my part, how I saw it, as a caregiver and as the other person.
That is a tough ask.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where people really see what folks are really made of. Because some folks be like, you know what? Let me just put this individual in the hospital because it's a lot. It's a lot to ask for. And I would say, because we're still in June for, men's mental health awareness, that,
how ironic.
For us guys,
yes,
we do suffer in silence a lot.
Yes.
We don't say a lot about a lot of nothing.
Right.
And here in the African American community, I'm guilty myself. We are scared to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like like going to the dentist. Yeah. Everybody's scared to go to the dentist. You know what I'm saying?
I worked in the dental field. All the patients tell me that.
Everybody's scared to go to the dentist. But us black men, we're very scared to go to the doctor. And we don't get our annual checkups as often as we should.
Yeah. And that's what he said. He told me he doesn't like to go to the hospital because you never leave alive. That's what he always says.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well,
that's deep.
It's deep, but I mean,
yeah.
I can almost. I know of a situation that happened like that. A guy went into the hospital. He went into the hospital just for a regular checkup, and he didn't come out.
Yeah. That's what
came out in a body bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And we need to hear, because we can, we gotta make sure our prostate is good. We gotta make sure our colon is good. You know what I mean? And just getting those regular checkups.
Yep.
And who knows if he'd have got those regular checkups, that, something could have been prevented.
Oh, absolutely. And also I felt like his mental health struggled after losing his job. I felt like that's what triggered all of the health issues to be more than what it was, and so this cancer was so aggressive, but I wonder if he had taken care of his health and mental health, starting with, right? If it may have prolonged the aggressiveness of the cancer, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but what if, right? What if you took care of your mental health?
Well, he was a provider.
First? Right.
So you go from being a provider to can't provide. That bothers you.
Yeah.
And as a man will want to provide. And if he feel that if he feels that he can't do so, he feels less of a man. He feel he can. It's easy to be emasculated in that sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And especially if the lady can, pick up the slack.
Right.
And he like, where do I fit in? I have no room in this space.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he told me. Yeah.
So it can really mess with an individual. And man, I'm proud. Like I said, I'm proud of you for for you grieving and taking your loss and flipping it.
Yeah.
Everything is thriving for you. So you tell us about these businesses that you got going on.
So I started my business during the pandemic, actually. I was working full-time job at the time, a corporate. I was working for corporate at the time, and I felt a push to leave corporate America and start my own business. And it wasn't for me. It was something that I felt it was a calling. Just to backtrack a little bit, I found out about my story, my background story, during the time I was working there at the corporate. And I found out I was born a refugee child and grew up in Elgin. We came here with $40 and a Dream, which is what I named my first book.
Okay.
So I was born a homeless Lao refugee after my parents had fled the war and everything. And I grew up in Elgin, but I never knew my story, never knew my history. It was on accident that I learned about my history. It was on accident. And, when the moment that I found out, it was such a, like you said earlier, full circle moment, right? It just really put my life into perspective. And everything just started to, the puzzles felt like the pieces of the puzzle started to put together. My husband, he was doing an elective class for some class he was doing for college, and he had to interview someone from out of the country. And he was like, well, I should interview you. And I said, okay, well, I don't really know my history. So I pick up the phone, call my dad. Hey, Dad, I need to know why we're here. Like, what's going on? You know, why are we here? Right. And so my dad he paused because it was such a dramatic time for him at that, you know, him escaping the war and everything, communist invasion, all that. He didn't tell me. He said, here's a phone number. I need you to call this lady. Her name is Jane. And so he gave me the number, and I picked up the phone and I dialed the phone and I said, hi, Jane, this is Nippapon. And she started immediately like, Nippapon. Oh my goodness. She hadn't seen me since I was 2. Apparently, she was one of the church ladies who helped saved us from the refugee camp. And they raised $4,000, and they went through like hundreds of profiles of families to see who they would adopt. And so they brought us to America. And I hadn't seen her since I was 2 because although we came, she lived in Tennessee. We came here, we lived in Tennessee for about 9 months. And then my uncle in Elgin, who came to Elgin, found out and went and picked us up with the U-Haul and brought us to Elgin. And so I lived in that White House next to La Roca. South Chapel Street across the street. That was my little 2-bedroom cockroach infested apartment. We lived there sometimes with 14 people.
14 people?
Sometimes, people who needed loud refugees. My dad just took everybody in. He's just like, okay. He just they tell the people they know him, and he's just like, yep, I'll take them. So he was helping people escape, you know. So grew up in Elgin. Always, you know, YMCA was our home. Was it YWCA right down the street? Okay. The YWCA, we frequently walked down there, right? And I was a poor refugee child, public assistance on food stamps, right? And I remember Christmas having to go down there. That was my favorite time of the year. And we would walk down there with the other refugee kids. And I didn't know till I grew up that we were in line for Santa because we were poor.
Like what they do for Salvation Army type.
I didn't know till I grew older. Like, you know, we were poor. But it was a special moment. It was the best moment of my life. So long story short, went to Channing Elementary, walked there, you know, in the cold and everything. Grew up, and I share this in my children's book too about my experience as a child growing up in America. I was bullied. I was bullied for being too Asian. So growing up, I had to learn English, right? So you know, you were bullied for being different. Every recess, it's like I went to Garfield Elementary. Every recess, it's ching chong, you know, this and that, right? Chinese, Japanese, look at these, you know, like kids, right? They're super mean, annoying, right? So even a teacher told me I didn't deserve this country. And I didn't really know what racism was back then. I didn't know. I was, you know, I didn't know.
Real quick though. When did you go to Garfield?
Garfield?
Yes, when did you go to Garfield?
Oh, goodness. So I graduated in 95, so I would have went to Garfield. I think I went from 3rd to 6th grade.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So do you remember, probably at the time that you was in Garfield, there wasn't a lot of Hispanic kids. So I remember, because I went to Garfield and Channing.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably went to all the elementary schools.
We probably were like side by side.
Yeah. So there was a large migration of Laos.
Yeah.
And then there became a large migration of Hispanic students that were at Garfield.
Yes.
In the early 90s, like
Mrs. Jones.
Mrs. Ann Jones.
I loved Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
I remember when my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Peterson.
Okay, I remember Miss Peterson.
Okay, she's the one who said I don't deserve this country.
Really?
She never gave me an A on my assignment. She would always give me a C or D, and I was a straight A and B student.
Oh wow!
And we had our our classroom out in the mobile unit. You remember the mobile unit? You went there too?
Yeah. Well, a lot of schools got mobiles now.
So we had the mobile home.
I was in the mobile home for DFG though, developmental.
So they had that there. Then they probably switched it to fifth grade.
It was in the back along the fence.
So that's what our classroom was. So it was like right after music class. I was sitting there humming, I'm, a kid, right? She goes, "Who's humming?" And then everybody pointed to me and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, So she's like, "Laura, go to the office," like really mean. And I was like, okay, well, sit down and apologize to them. I was like, okay. So I said, "I'm sorry." She didn't like how I apologized, right? Mm-hmm. So she called the office. "I'm sending her, blah, blah, blah." So she opened the door, but then she shut it behind us. And then that's when she said it. It left a permanent mark in my brain, in my head, because I'm like, I can't believe this teacher. She said, "You deserve this country." Like that. Really? To me. Yes. To me. Yes. "You don't deserve this country." While I'm walking to the elementary school, and I'm not even a bad kid. Yeah. I turned around and I said, "F you."
She deserved it.
And I wasn't even a bad kid. So I didn't realize it then why I didn't get in trouble, because like I said, I didn't know what racism was. Right. And so Mrs. Jones, she loved me, right? She loved me. I went to the office. I thought I'm about to get in trouble, right? Get in the office with Mrs. Jones. And she's like, "What happened?" And I told her what happened. I said, "This is what the teacher said to me." And she was like, "Okay, baby, you're not in trouble. Just sit here and draw for me."
Did she have you get her some water to take her shoes off?
Oh, Lord.
My brother was on the show. He admires Mrs. Jones.
I love her.
And that was one thing about Miss Jones. She would bring, Miss Jones strived. That was her mission.
Wow.
Because see, there's a significance about Garfield Elementary School. The Garfield Elementary School took a lot of underprivileged. Well, not I ain't gonna say underprivileged, but the south side of Elgin was poor.
Yeah.
And everybody didn't have resources. So Miss Jones was there filling that gap of trying to get everybody together and on the right page and make them successful.
She's amazing.
Miss Ann Jones.
I love her. She's amazing. So yeah, she's like, "Just draw here." But you know what was so weird? And I blankly remember this, but all of a sudden, Mrs. Peterson wasn't there anymore. And I'm like, wait a minute. As I got older, thinking back, like, I wonder, did she get fired?
Right. For real.
I wonder what happened to her. But yeah, I mean, I'm 48. And that was 40, almost 40, 30, 40. Thank you. Almost 40 years, 30 some years ago. And I still remember that day like it was yesterday. So, and that's why I wrote my children's book, but about belonging, because I felt that. So then, after that, I went home and I told my dad what happened, and the way that he described racism at the time to a, 11, 10-year-old, whatever, how old I was. He said, "Honey, we're in America. There's Americans who love us, but there's some who don't like us because we have dark hair."
Because I had dark hair.
Right. So I started I don't know if you guys remember, but the Sun In.
I don't remember the Sun In.
Okay, so back in I'm aging myself, but there's this spray. You spray it in your hair and you go in the sun and it lightens it. Oh. So I try to lighten my hair because I'm like, I need them to like me.
Right.
I don't want them to not like me. I need them to like me. So then, I started to, I was too Asian for Americans, right? Then now we're talking about 30 years ago, right?
Right.
When you see as the history, right, of Black people being portrayed on the media and everything, right? So my parents being uneducated, that's all they saw. Yeah. And that's how everybody in the community, their mentality was, right? That all Black people were, criminals and all this, right? Or whatever is their stereotype. So anyways, most of my friends I grew up with were minorities, Hispanics, Blacks, Asian. There's a couple of, American, Caucasian friends I had, but not a lot of them wanted to. They were the ones, some of them were teasing me, so, but I tried to be friends with them, but some of them just, they didn't want to be my friends. So, but I started to hang out with a lot of my minority friends, right? And so I started to become too Americanized now for my Lao community. So all of a sudden, I was the black sheep, and I was the person that is going to be a loser. My future's a failure. I was a lost cause. Don't hang out with me. All of a sudden, I was not allowed. Even some of my relatives, my cousins, were not allowed to hang out. Nobody was allowed to hang out with me because I was the black sheep of Elgin from the Lao community. And then, as a teenager, as a preteen, you have that identity crisis. Like, okay, who am I? I'm not Asian enough. I'm not American enough. Like, who am I? Right? I went through this identity crisis during my high school time, and it led to a very, very dark path for me. It led me to a very dark path of doing destructive things and skipping school and just really hanging out with the wrong crowds and everything. And I ended up running away. I was a teen. It was just too much. One day I overheard my mother talking to my father, and she said to my father, she said, if I knew she was going to be like this, I would have killed her a long time ago. What? And that broke my heart. That was like, wow, I'm not wanted.
So do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 older brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard them arguing. And she said this to him. And now, mind you, I didn't learn, and I wrote it in my second book, The Secret War Within Us. I had to learn why hurt people. And my mom, if you think about it, she had to flee the country at 25 with her kids, right? So she was hurt. So she didn't know how to channel that hurt. And it was through me. I'm going to slice your face and all this stuff, right? For talking to boys, and things like that. Rest her soul. So that time I packed up my stuff. I said, I'm leaving. I'm moving away. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm leaving to Kansas City. I guess at the time I was talking to this guy in Kansas City at 15, right? No. He lived here first.
He lived here first.
Then his dad took a job. His stepdad took a job in Kansas City. And I was like, I'm going to go live with my uncle. And I asked my uncle if I could live with him in Kansas City. He said yes. So I packed up my stuff, putting my stuff in my bag. As my mom looks around the corner, she's like, "You're really leaving?" I was like, "Yes, I'm getting out of here." And I said, "Yes." And she's like, "Well, if you made a mistake, don't blame me. This is your choice, And I said, "Okay, whatever. I'll live with it." So I left, and my uncle said I was able to live with him. But then when I got there, he's like, "Oh, no, you're a runaway." He's like, "No, you're a runaway. You can't live here." I was like, "Okay." So I begged my boyfriend's mom at the time. I said, "Could I please live with you guys? I don't care what I have to do. Can I please live with you?" And she said yes. And my dad, he's a teacher, right? So education was everything, even if he had to sign me over. So he legally signed me over to her. So now I grew up in a Lao refugee household, all Lao food, like all this stuff, to like Mama Sonia and Grandma Bessie. Oh, they got
so
me.
You went from now you eating fried chicken and macaroni and cheese.
No, baby, put the cornbread on the green. On there. What is this, Mama Sonia? This is called pinto beans, baby. Just eat it. I'm like, okay. Yes.
Mama Sonia,
Grandma Bessie. They loved on me. And they made sure. So I lived in the inner city of Kansas City. First time, drug down here, drug over there, going to a all black high school, metal detectors, fights every day. That was normal, right? It was normal. They didn't really mess with me because Mama Sonia was light skinned, so they thought that I was
her family.
They thought that I was actually mixed, and when you're around people, you start to take on the style and the mannerism. My hair started looking like TLC. Oh my gosh. My earrings.
I need the pictures.
Yes, I have the pictures on my website. I mean, on my Facebook. But yes, so, you start to look. I started looking like her, so they didn't really mess with me. But they got me straight, and they got me to graduate on time. Nice. And the last semester of high school, I said, I want to prove to everybody that I could graduate on time, because they told me I was going to be a loser. I was going to be a dropout. I was going to be this. I was going to be that. I'm going to prove that I'm not going to be everything they told me I was going to be. Flew back here, took the last semester at Elgin High, graduated in 1995, and walked across that stage and made my parents super proud. And so
you graduated in Kansas City?
Nope. I wanted them to physically see me graduate.
Right.
So I transferred back here to stay with my parents the last semester of Elgin High School. And so I went to Elgin and Larkin. I was such a bad kid. I got kicked out of Elgin before school even started because I got in a fight on orientation day.
Oh,
some girl came from Streamwood to fight with me, and I got kicked out. Went to Larkin.
You didn't even have social media.
I didn't even,
right? It used to be crazy.
It was just crazy. And so I graduated, and I ended up getting married, moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Came back 2018, and so just kind of reconnecting with some of my old friends from high school and everything. And at the time, I was working for a corporation. That's when I learned about my story. So fast forward to that, learned about my story, and I was like, oh my goodness. At the time that I felt God lead me to leave that job, I was making $213,000 gross that year. Oh, and I'm sitting here like, okay, Lord, this is $20,000
right.
Yes.
In my 2-week check, my biweekly check is $20,000. Like, are you sure you want me to leave?
Right. Lord, you lying. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. You want me to give up
213 gross.
You want me to give up $213K to
man? And you know what? Something I've learned when your season is up. God will do things to ruffle the feathers, right? And the doctor that I always got along with, somehow him and I just kind of bumped heads, and I knew I'm okay, Lord, this is my time. Like, I'm supposed to be out of here, right? And God can be really tricky, right? That's when I started learning about my story. While I'm waiting for the appointments, I would sit there and, people always ask, where are you from? I end up telling the story I just learned about myself. I had grown men and women in my room crying over my story. And I'm like, whoa. One told me I needed to write a book. And I ended up, sorry, am I losing myself here? I ended up running into a bestseller author, and Steve Pemberton. And I shared with him my story. And he was like, I have a bestseller, and this is just about foster care. He was like, your story is amazing. You need to tell your story. And so he signed his book. That was like what planted the seed of me writing my book. And then I had different people in my office. Like one lady, she didn't even need the services. Somehow she ended up in my office, and she was like, God, I'm a prophet, and God told me to tell you that I see you in a room full of women just lined up to hear your story. And I'm like, oh, okay. You like kind of brush it off. So then fast forward a couple years after that, I'm sitting, I got booked for a keynote speaker event at Our Dearly Bread Ministries in Grand Rapids. And I'm sitting looking out the window as I see women lined up to come and hear my story. It replayed her voice in our conversation. I'm like, wow. And so I knew that I was in the right path because he would drop little hints like, you're not supposed to be here. I brought you through all that, from being born a homeless Lao refugee to being a malnourished child coming to America, unable to speak English, to going through the struggles you went through as a teenager, to this corporate America, up climbing the ladder, breaking through the bamboo ceiling, right? Going through all the racism to get to where you are. I didn't do that for nothing. I need you to go back and share your story and help pull other people up. And that's why I almost didn't end up in Elgin. I had a space by my house in Spring Hill Mall. And somehow that didn't work out. And I found this place and like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be back in my town that I grew up in. So to prove that God did this, I didn't do this.
Absolutely.
So at the time, it was Beautiful Potential, BU to Full Potential Consulting. Beautiful Potential Consulting is my main business. And it's beauty, branding, and business coaching consulting, right? And so that's why I ended up with the salon suites. And the wellness just came because my husband wanted, added beauty and wellness, right? But I help with branding. I help with websites. I help with logo. I help, entrepreneurs brand themselves through all of that. I learned that during the pandemic. While we had the pandemic, I'm just a serial learner. I'm a student. I'm a forever student.
Yeah.
And so I just started soaking everything in. I started taking courses and I'm self-taught. And now I'm using everything that I know to help teach other people.
Well, I'm glad you ain't gatekeeping because you got some gatekeepers out there, boy. They is not letting you pass. They ain't giving you no information, no nothing.
Scared you gonna pass them?
Yeah, scared you gonna pass them up.
Really,
you know what I mean? But that's. I'm sitting here listening to your story, and I'm intrigued by your story, and it just seemed like everything. Sometimes things has steps, but it just seemed like everything just came together at one time in a sense.
It seemed like it, right?
Yeah. So you putting it all together. Is it just you or you got a team behind you doing this or?
Yeah, no, it's not just me. The wellness bar, the only reason I was able to do it is shout out to my cousin Monica. She's the manager for the wellness bar. She's the one that, and Percy from MVP Nutrition.
Okay.
He's helped us set up, right?
Yeah.
So I sent my Monica over there to train with him because I was a wreck. I lost my husband. So God, when he shows you something, he really just lays it out for you.
Yeah, you got to have that faith, right?
It's got to be, and you have to have that faith, but not only that, you also have to manifest it.
Yeah, you do.
I envisioned this before I even knew my husband had cancer. This was last year. The place was still dark. You've been there when it was like black. Like
yeah.
Like, I don't know what I was thinking. But I kept telling Sharonda and Jalea, I'm like, I see this place pink with flower green walls. And I think I want to open up a wellness cafe, like with Percy's help,
And you knocked down a wall
and
or something too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a whole,
So we did a whole revamp and I couldn't have done it without a team, right?
Yeah.
Percy helped, my cousin, she stepped up and like, all right, I'm going to take the lead. So she went and trained with, I still don't know how to make some of the drinks, right? So it's not just me. Like I was just the manifest the whole thing. And, I have other people like believe in my vision.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. When God gives you a vision, he's going to give you provision. He's going to provide the people. You don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
And everything that I envisioned a year ago is like, wow, it's happening.
Everything happens for a reason,
yes. Right? And then the other vision I had, but maybe about 4 years ago, when I was bored and read through the whole like state board, like I want to open a school because my background is also in, I was executive director for Empire Beauty School, for Regency.
Okay.
No, I've worked and managed schools. So I'm like, I would love to have a school, across the street from the high school I attended where people said I was going to be a high school dropout and I was going to be nobody. Like, I'm going to open a school.
Yeah.
So that plan, I guess it wasn't the right time at the time. My application kept prolonging. They lost it and I have to keep doing it, right? And then I said, wait a minute. There's space across from me that is empty. Before there wasn't. So that space was just waiting for me. Reached out to my landlord. I'm like, hey, I want to know how much is it for these 4 spaces? And he gave me such a great deal on it that I couldn't say no. I was like, okay. And I'm like, okay, well, where do I sign? And, that's when it's God. I was like, okay, where do I sign? And I was like, how about the deposit? What do I need to do? He remodeled the floor. He did the paint for me. Like it was just, everything just landed on my lap. So this is going to be a beauty supply store. Okay. It's going to be a beauty school. but just 2 short programs to start. The 2 that as a director at the school that I felt was needed the most.
Okay.
Which was braids, wigs, extensions, and nails.
Okay.
Those classes I felt was missing when I was a director at the school.
Okay.
And then because my students come out and then they're like, I don't know how to do this, And so also the business side too. So me being a business coach, I wanted to implement for my students, like before you leave here, you're going to know how to run your business. You're going to know how to brand yourself. You're going to know how to do your own website. Right. You're going to know how to do your own logo, prepared. Social media. You're going to know all of that. That's what I felt was missing. So
when are you launching the beauty school?
It's going to take a couple months. I have a direct contact now that they stopped losing my application. Mm-hmm. I'm like, is it just like, do they just not want these schools to pop up? Like, what's going on? How do you lose it twice? Like, how, so now I finally have a direct contact. And as soon as I submit all of the updates to her, she's like, it should only be a couple months after I submit the updates to her. So hopefully by fall, I'll be able to,
So are you reaching out to the local high schools to try?
Yeah, I went to Larkin just the other day, and I plan to go to my old high school, Elgin, so just starting to plant that seed, with meeting all of the different high school and beauty, different schools. There's a
lot of young ladies now, especially Hispanic ladies, Hispanic girls that are learning to do nails.
Yep.
And they're doing them out of their house. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're pretty. You go to McDonald's or whatever, everybody got their nails done up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. And why not be legit and have that license behind you, right? Have that license behind you so you can eventually, if you want to, open your own shop.
Or it's good money.
Yes. I mean, you walk
when
out
I be
there.
thinking about when I think about how much I spend, I be like, okay, she said I'm her 6th client today.
And $100 a top, ain't it? I'm gonna learn how to do some nails.
I tried for a little bit.
Teach you. Yes.
It's some good money, and that's definitely what I feel like the youth definitely need is some ways of how to make some money.
Yeah.
It's so many ways of how to make it not the right way.
Absolutely.
No, that's what's up. Yeah. So you had to go through a lot of hurdles to get to
finally get here. But I know that wasn't my timing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't my timing. Mm-hmm. And now it is. That space wasn't available at the time. And also I was dealing with everything that I had to deal. Yeah. I was working 2 jobs, running a business while making sure my husband got to his chemo appointments or Ubering him, so it was a lot to juggle. Now I have me, 4 kids and 3 grandkids. That's 8 of us, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to quit my job. I had to quit both of my jobs. And now it's like failure's not an option. Right. My family's counting on me,
Absolutely.
And so I have to make this work. I have to make this work.
You got to make it work. I always say,
make it work.
Many are called, few are chosen. Mm-hmm. And I think that, in this life that we have, those who survive different circumstances, they survive to tell those who are going through how to get through it. I always say that your story is not your story.
It's someone else's survival guide.
It's somebody else's survival guide. Mm-hmm. That's where it comes into I want to tap into motivational speaking, I'm just kind of hung up because I don't know where to start. Because you ask people questions and people will think it's buzzing.
And what did I tell you? I'm like, I got you. I will help you.
Because like how you said that you will come with a story. You will have stuff. And the guy that you said man, I got a story about foster care. Yeah. But you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Hey, man, you got, oh, man, I don't know. That really happened? Mm-hmm, you're yeah. Mm-hmm. And now they this dude's story can take off more than mine. Mm-hmm. And he'll get booked more than me. And, I'm not going to tell him where to go, how to start.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people do.
They do.
Gatekeeping
they do.
That. And it's 50 states, and I don't know how many different cities, towns. I can't go to every place now.
You're right. Exactly. You are your only competition. No one else is like you. Nobody has your story. Nobody has your story.
Nobody has my story.
So,
but I do be seeing a couple of them people. I'm sorry, Ness.
You good?
I do be seeing a couple of them people with some fugazi stories though. Fabricated.
Yeah.
Or borrow someone else's story.
Borrow somebody's story. I was just at an event and a guy sat here and told the story. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I heard that.
Heard this before. He just made it about him.
Wow.
When it was a rapper's story, I'm like, oh, brother, like, wow, dude, you just sat here and this, and let me tell you something. He go from city to city, state to state for the last several years and telling the same exact story.
You should definitely, you'll help a lot of people. Our story is not for us to keep. And that's what I had to remember. That's what it took me 5 years to release my first. I was like, you have to remember that your story is not for you to keep.
Have you thought about, though, that sometimes in your story, sometimes other people are perceived a certain way? Have you gotten any backlash
if you're talking about other people?
Yeah, like telling your story and perceiving someone away. Like, they did this to me.
I mean, sometimes you're talking about your family. They're not going to pick up and read your book, are they?
Oh.
I think you guys did you get in trouble?
I did.
Hey, Ness was on the hot seat. She was on the hot seat for a little while when we first got. Because she was letting the rap.
I'm trying to tell my story, and some people was like, "Hold on, I didn't do that." I'm like, "Hold on."
Right.
Yeah.
How I saw it.
This is my perception.
That's your truth.
Right.
That's your truth.
This is my perception of what went down. One of the grandkids said hi.
Elikai. Hi, Grandma's baby.
So how was the family holding up?
The family, we all have our moments, right? It was my youngest one, my 8-year-old, he's the one that is having it, the most. And I think what really helped us is because we were prepared for it, right? So we knew from October that this could happen. And we are just grateful for the time that we did have him in our lives. And I don't know if you guys have watched the Father's Day video. It's like 5 million views. Like, people are like sharing it like crazy.
Really?
Yes. If you want to pull it, you can. But they're sharing it like crazy. Now, the crazy part about that video that's all put together is the smile, the laugh, the hugging, and all of that. That time, I felt like God gave us that extra time. Because what people didn't know just from seeing that video is just the day before he died. You wouldn't even know that looking at the photos. He died. I was sitting in the room with him while he's intubated, and somehow the nurse put like high blood pressure meds too quick, or what the doctor told him to do. My husband went into cardiac arrest right in front of me. He flatlined. About 20 people came in. I've never seen anything like it. That was my first time experiencing it. They pumped him. I'm sitting outside in the chair praying. Okay, I'm not ready. Jesus, please, I'm not ready. I'm praying, please bring him back. I'm not ready. I get a tap on my shoulder, and this doctor said, ma'am. I'm like, what? Don't tell me, because I'm like expecting the worst. Ma'am, it's okay. We got a heartbeat. We got a pulse. Oh. So I walk in the room with him, and he's, got a heartbeat, got a pulse. But the doctor pulled us aside and told me, listen, although he has a heartbeat, just want you to know he lost blood for 7 minutes. So his liver's failing, his kidneys are failing. And so you should probably put the do not resuscitate order, because he's not going to live, right? Past that. And I said, that's a hard decision. I said, I'm going to leave it up to my kids. We're going to speak about it as a family. And my kids are like, yeah, we probably should, because, Dad wouldn't want to live like that. And this, so I'm proud of my kids, right? They're like, we know Dad, he's not going to want to live like that. So then all of a sudden he started opening his eyes, and they told me, and I went told the doctor, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to put the do not resuscitate. He just opened up his eyes. He's awake. He's awake. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the one to be like, okay, no, we're not going to save his life, right? Mm-hmm. Doctor sat me down. I understand, but if we pull that plug, he only has 2 hours to live. That's my estimate. That's what he told me. I'm estimating 2 hours. He's going to live once we pull that plug. Meanwhile, God's working behind the scenes. Meanwhile, my ex-husband, the girl's father, right? Mm-hmm. He's a pastor, and one of my husband's family members follow him. Mm-hmm. And somehow she, out of the blue, saw, please pray for my girl's stepdad, Marcelo Robertson. Mm-hmm. His family like, wait a minute, that's our family. That's our cousin. They hadn't talked for 17 years. They fell out at our wedding over a stupid fight. For 17 long years, they didn't talk. And so they called me, reached out to me. Can we come and see him, please? I said, of course, you know. And they came, they drove here, about 10 of them drove up here 6 hours. And I truly believe that he was brought back to spend those 3 days with his family. Mm. They prayed, they asked for forgiveness, they loved on each other for the last 3 days of his life. They were able to get that closure. And if you looked at him on that Father's Day video, doesn't look like someone who just passed. Mm-hmm. That just had like heart. So he stayed alive. He stayed awake for 3 days just for them to get closure. As soon as they left that Sunday, he passed that Monday.
Mm. Quick story. So I'm listening to you, and you know when people tell stories, mm-hmm. you can see it play out in your mind, you know. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about my sister. I think my sister might have been in the same class as you. Her name is Angela Farr.
Sounds familiar.
Because we're 3 years apart. So she would have graduated in 95. But anyways, my sister, she was like sick. Mm. She didn't really tell us. Oh. She knew, but she didn't want to say, hey, this is what was going on. Yeah. And it got down to that point. Yeah. You know, and I can just remember like, yo, what's going on? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, talk to me. What's going on? She said, Junior, I already know what they're going to tell me. Because I'm like, hey, we finna get you out of here. We finna go to Minnesota, to the Mayo Clinic. And she's just like, nah, I already know. There's nothing that they can tell me that I don't know. And I'm just like, I never thought about this is what she's telling me. She's telling me, but she's not telling me. Yeah. I couldn't accept it. Right. I ended up being a power of attorney somehow. Mm. And my phone just kept ringing. I don't know if you got those phone calls from the hospital. Yeah. You talking about a stress level through the roof, right? Yes. Every time the phone, you're like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. And so that question was presented. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not going to be on me. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be at home. Right. And she flatlines and they say, okay, Mr. Roby, right. What do you do? Right. What do you want us to do? Right. Mm-hmm. Heavens no. Right. We all was at the hospital. I say, listen, y'all, come here. We got to talk. Yeah. They got they got an abbreviation for the do not resuscitate, right? DNC. The DNR. Mm-hmm. DNR. They got a DNR tag on her. Mm-hmm. My mom was still alive at the time, and I'm just like, and she's like, they gon', you know, we were all in disbelief. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And I promise you, Laura, we was like, all right. This was on Labor Day, 2013. It was like, okay, she's in there in the bed, breathing. She got all these tubes, blah, 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 because it just went from one extreme to the next very fast. Wow. Right. And I can remember as we started walking, I heard, oh, Blue. Wait a minute. Let me go back. When I went back, I saw all those people that you were talking about. I mean, I'm like, what?
Right.
They had they had backpacks, they had needles, like they it was like a SWAT team just coming out of everywhere. Everybody did something totally different.
Like, where'd they come from?
Where did they come from?
30 people just came out of nowhere.
Where did they come from?
Right.
And they said, what do you want to do?
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
I said, let her go. Gotta let her go.
That is.
Wow.
Couldn't imagine.
Damn.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's crazy. Because I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I experienced that firsthand. But the benefit of it all was like, after it happened, I was relieved.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't have to suffer whatever it was in that time.
Exactly.
She had to suffer no more.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing like watching your loved ones suffer from cancer. I don't know if you were you saw the transition and
you see the transition.
Did you see that?
You see the transition.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking.
And I was mad at her kids, but I didn't understand. I was selfish.
Yeah.
I was selfish because it's like my sister.
Yeah.
But that's their mother. And I really didn't check in on them about them being okay. It took me a little time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, listen, my sister, she would just be sitting on the floor.
Yep.
Hours.
Yes. Yep.
Don't y'all ever let her sit on the, don't you ever. You understand? And I will lose my mind. But I didn't think about them having to be inside the house watching this. They're traumatized.
Yeah. They are.
Oh, man, man,
but
it's
my
so
husband
much.
was very private from the kids. No matter how much he was going through, he always wanted the doors closed. He didn't want them to see him suffering in there. I was the only one who saw it. He would get up in the morning with his cane and still try to make things normal as possible, and still try to make the breakfast for the kids, and still try to watch them walk out to the bus stop. Like, he was trying his best to do all that and make everything normal for them. That's just the kind of person he was.
I believe this is your daughter. She says, I experienced my dad's last breath, but I'm glad
she helped.
I was there and he wasn't alone. Yeah, without a doubt.
She was the one. I couldn't be there to watch him.
Yeah.
It was too traumatizing, emotional for me. When I knew he was close to it, the social worker came in and she was telling me that, sometimes when they're because he was in hospice, like sometimes when they're in hospice, they want to hear from you. They want to know that you're going to be okay, or else they're hanging on.
Yeah.
And I know he heard me tell his aunt that was with me through the whole time. I told Aunt Bonnie, I'm like, I don't want to be here when he takes his last breath. I would not want to be here. And he probably heard me say that. The toughest thing for me to do was whisper in my husband's ears and tell him, I know you've been struggling for so long. I've watched your body dwindle down, and I know you're weak. I said, babe, if you are tired of fighting and if your body is giving up on you, it's okay to let go. While we're crying, he's crying. I can see his tears coming down. I'm crying in his ears. I said, it's okay to let go. I said, me and the kids will be okay. I said, God will take care of us. And you could hear him, whimpering. Me and the kids will be just fine. So I said, it's okay if you let go. And so I left. I said, your daughter's going to be here with you. Soon as I left, before I even got in the shower, because I had to go home and take a shower because I was there 7 days. Like, I'm like, I gotta go get some me time and get away because I didn't want to watch you pass. So I said, your daughter's here. She called me before I even got in the shower. Like, Dad's oxygen is dwindling down.
You'll see it dwindling.
Yep. Dad's oxygen is dwindling.
Yeah.
And they said he's not going to make it. He's about to pass. And then I my clothes on and went right back up there. But he had passed before I got there because I didn't want to be there. Yeah. He took his last breath, you know.
I said to my sister, you know, I'm like, hey man, thank you for not putting me in that position to make that call.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people would have been like, well, you never know.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? And I'm just
right.
I don't know. I have no answers. You know what I'm saying? Then the kids be mad at me. You know what I mean? And I don't want the kids to be mad at me. But she left. She left when we were all there.
Wow.
When we were all there, and it was like you say, man. They was ready. Yeah. The 50 people.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came from. They had some cool outfits. Right. They had the needles ready to go. They was y'all you
like, like that, like in the movie.
Yeah, it was like in the movie. It was so much going on. Oh, you gotta step out, ma'am. I'm like, for what? He flatlined. I'm like, what? You know, so it was like blackout moment again, right? But you know what's so oops. Sorry. What was so crazy is the day before that happened, I was working, you know, still working at the time, and I was working remotely, had my laptop up, and I don't know, people say these things all the time, you know, there's angels and stuff like that. I don't know if I believed in it, but then this day it was really messing with me, because when I looked up, there was a man in front of me who stood there until I paid attention to him. My heart stopped because he looked just like my husband.
Really?
Same figure, but in a doctor's white coat. Mind you, all his doctors had scrubs. This doctor was the same height, same everything, had a mask on. He was just standing there on the phone, coming out the elevator. I'm in the waiting room. My heart stopped. I'm like, oh gosh, this man's gonna think I'm weird if I like videotape him. You know? So then I'm like, in my mind, I was like, man, are they coming to take? Is this an angel? Like, is he coming to take my husband? Like, what's going on? Did the opposite? It was like was brought back to life the next day. I'm like, who's this man? This mysterious man. So he walked this way. He came back out. I was able to videotape him. And so I got a glimpse of it. Then my daughter, then my daughter downstairs on the second floor spotted him again. He videotaped him again. Walking this way on the phone, like quickly turned the corner. And then the third time, his family saw. So on the 6th floor, on the 2nd floor, and the 8th floor, from ICU to the 2nd floor to hospice, 3 different family members spotted him 3 different times. And we're in McHenry, so there's not a lot of, minority doctors. So, but maybe I could be losing my mind. I'm just like, this is really bizarre. There's a man walking around looking like him, and in a doctor's suit, which I'm like, none of the doctors wore suits, white coats. I'm like, what is this? But, you hear that about that all the time. At the end of life, you see strange things. And I'm like, that might have been a strange thing,
Yeah. So I dealt with it a lot. And my brother too. We was there with him. Like I said, you got to be tough. You sit there and you watch that machine just beep.
Yeah.
Beeps. Beeps. And everybody's just bracing as you're going from 100 something to 90 something to 80 something.
Right.
And the whole time the person can hear you.
Right.
And they can hear you.
Right.
And it's like they know that they're leaving.
Right.
I couldn't I'm sitting there. But my brother was in the bed. Well, I didn't talk to my sister. I don't know, because I feel I probably would have lost my mind.
Right.
My brother, I was like, man, you good? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, man, did somebody hurt you? He was like, nah. It's like, you sure? He was like, yeah. And then like, it just, I don't know. It just fade to black, man.
Yep.
Bro, that's some crazy stuff. It's some crazy stuff
that you can't put into words unless you've actually physically gone through it. Like when you hear people struggling with cancer. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that looks like, you know, but now I do. And it's just terrible.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. I don't even wish it on anybody. It's just hard to watch. Hard to watch your loved ones. He went from 165 pounds, 6'3", to 115 pounds. And when his body would be aching, baby, please massage me, I'm just rubbing bones. And I would sit there. I wouldn't show him, but I would sit there crying, just rubbing his bones, just weeping, crying to myself. Then I'm like, oh, hold on, I got to go wash my hands. But really, I'm in the bathroom wiping my face off so he doesn't see that I'm crying.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's the hard part, like just trying to be strong in front of him because you don't want him to see that you're also suffering.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be strong for him. So.
Yeah. So, wow, man. That is, that's something.
Yeah.
But the juice bar is in remembrance of him.
It is. Yep.
And what is the name of the juice bar again?
So beautiful nutrition, so beautiful wellness bar, and you leave feeling so beautiful. SOUL.
So tell us a little more about this bar. What can we expect if we go to the juice bar?
Yeah, so you can get shakes, teas, or coffees. They're all low sugar, depending on what you want, right? And if you're trying to lose weight, you can add for the fat release, the detox.
So let me give you an example.
Did you have, which one did you drink?
I had, was the Royal Flush.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the lady there, yes.
Flushed you?
The lady there recommended it.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like, I don't know what I want. I'm like, I was drinking last night, my stomach felt a little funny. She was like, the Royal Flush. Fine, okay. So my daughter had a hair appointment too, so I dropped her off. So I'm drinking. I went to Target. Mind you, Target is probably 10 minutes from the shop. So I go to Target. I'm in Target probably like another 10 minutes. I'm like, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. So I live like 4 minutes from Target, so I went straight home. I'm like, oh my God. And then luckily, Jalea, she texted me. She was like, oh, I'm taking a little bit longer. Thank God. Thank God. For real.
So it
worked.
Lord, you up there sending folks to the bathroom in a hurry, huh? You gotta take that one off the menu.
Gone. No,
but it's optional.
It's not horrible because you get some of those that you really would can't breathe.
Exactly.
On the toilet, like no.
Yeah.
It was not horrible.
Yes.
It was not horrible. It just worked.
Nice.
That's it.
That's good to know.
It worked. And the flavor was good. Like it's a nice spot. It's a nice spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did bring my Lao dolls.
Yes, tell us about the Lao dolls.
Yeah, I did bring the Lao dolls. So this was born out of my book, Noah's Journey to Belonging, the children's book I told you about my experience with Garfield Elementary School and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. So last year when I launched my book, I actually created this doll, right? I watched YouTube and seeing how you make some dolls. And then I posted it. All of a sudden it was like, wow, all these people sharing and asking where they can get these dolls from.
Oh, nice.
Because the thing is, we have a very a long history of trauma in Laos. And so not a lot of people know about us, but we're the heaviest bombed country per capita in the history of the world. And if you want to watch a little bit about that, you can go to YouTube and watch the Lao Redemption movie. I helped with that movie, but it actually has a guy that looks just like Obama, President Obama. But the truth is, President Obama was the first sitting president to ever go to Laos to acknowledge the U.S. bombing on our country. The CIA led a secret bombing mission on us. They bombed us for 9 years.
You learn something new every day.
Yes.
Yep.
And so, anyways, these dolls were created out of that. And when people saw it, I'm like, well, it's not for sale, but okay, I'll start making them and selling them.
So you made that?
Yeah, from scratch. If you watch some of my videos, you'll see this comes naked with nothing. I have to paint the face, right? It all goes with the beauty and hair, right? So I have to paint the face. I make the outfits. Some of the outfits are customized. We have some Blasian kids that, I want my Blasian girl. So I, would make it. They'll send a picture and I would make it like their baby, their daughters.
I love that.
So
they are very well put together too.
Thank you.
Couldn't tell that you DIY. Not really, but really,
pretty much DIY. And
I love it.
It was a lot of trial and error, but I hand make these from scratch. And when my husband got sick,
wow,
I have a back order.
Can I see?
From a year ago. I still have orders I haven't fulfilled.
Oh, you better get to
from
it.
a year ago.
Better get to making them down.
Oh my gosh. So I actually purged my factory from my home factory. I actually had an extra room and the media studio in Elgin, which is part of the new business launch. But I had an extra room and I put all my loud noise dolls in there. So I'm going to have a production going on in there so that I can hire people to actually make these, because I can't do everything. I can't be everywhere at once. So I have some volunteers, some people who want to learn how to make them and want to work. So I'll give them a job and have them, do it. So then that way we have a lot of them, and then I could sell it in my beauty supply store.
Right.
Or, these dolls, they just got so popular, and I've had to ship it to New Zealand. I've had to ship it to Canada. I've had to ship it. People would buy it in bulks for every year in April, we have Lao New Year. Because that's our Lao New Year. I'd have to make it in bulks and ship it to the different festivals and stuff, the pageants. And, so I would hand make these from scratch and then I would ship them off.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I am curious.
Yeah.
So you have all these things: books, salon, beauty supply store. What is your process of finding these people that you want to work with, such as the people that's in the salon? Did they just apply and hire, or because they're some good people? Let's give them their flowers as well.
Absolutely.
The people you have in there
they're independent.
Yeah. So how did you choose that?
So Jalea was referred to me. So they own their business. So they each have their own business. They just rent from me.
Okay.
So Jalea was referred to me. She was at another space, a barbershop or something, and then she needed another space. And so Jalea was referred to me. Then Sharonda worked with Jalea over there. So they both we're a team. So we come together. So, okay, I have space, so come on over. The other one that works in there that has her salon suite in there is my daughter, Asia.
Okay.
So Asia does hair. And then Javel, I think he was working somewhere that needed another space. So I'm like, okay, sure, we can, have some room for barber. And the one that did your drink, Monica, that runs the nutrition bar, she's an esthetician. So she does the facials in the back.
Yeah, I need to get me one of them.
Yes.
A facial.
You should. Yes. It's so, she does the back and everything.
Y'all do massages there too?
So
massage
Justina,
chair.
Well, we do have massage chair, but if you wanted a full body, we have Justina is our massage therapist.
Oh,
man, I need to get these shoulders done. I'm trying to tell you.
No, she's
do you still have nails?
Good.
I know
that's going to be at the nail school, because the nail school is going to have the nail salon. So now you'll get it at a cheaper rate.
Right.
Because the students are going to be practicing on it.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, but it'll be nails at the beauty.
You finna make a lot of people mad in town. And you said you opened up a beauty supply store?
Well, yes.
Ooh.
Because the students can get because the students can get their products. I can products, and then the salon.
Is that gonna be a problem?
For what? Because I'm Asian? Probably to some people. I don't know.
No, not to some people. To one in particular.
To one in particular.
What?
Clock Tower.
Oh, Lynn. Oh yeah, I know Lynn. Yeah. I mean,
this is bananas.
Colin.
Is she Laos?
You know what? She told me she's Chinese. However, she grew up in Thailand.
Really?
Which my family's from Thailand. My grandma lives in Thailand. But if you there's a history behind Thailand. Used to be Laos. There's a part of Thailand that used to be Laos. And so some of my family know how to speak Thai.
Okay.
And so Lynn told me that she grew up in Thailand.
Okay.
So she is able to speak Thai.
Is she?
Yeah. So, but she's ethnically Chinese. So she's really Chinese, but just grew up in Thailand.
Okay.
So she's able to speak Thai. But I don't
there is a lot of differences in that.
There is, and people don't understand that. They call all of us Chinese.
No.
Yeah.
It's called Asians, or sometimes they say Oriental. I'm like, Oriental's a rug.
Oh Lord.
But here can I share one more thing too? With all this stuff going on with immigration and all of this new stuff, one thing that people don't understand, or maybe they do, but so you know how my story, I told you that I was born in the refugee camp in Thailand. So I was homeless and displaced, right? So a lot of us that happened to, we came to America when we were a young age and we gained permanent residency, right? So what we're finding now with the new immigration is that some of us, we end up like I did as a troubled teen and get into trouble, go to jail, and so they're not able to get their citizenship for whatever reason and all of that. So now we're finding that they're getting deported to back to Laos, a country some of us have never even been.
Yeah.
Because I would, like, if they would have sent me back to Laos, I've never been there. Went to visit once, but now we're finding they're getting deported.
That is crazy.
Yeah, if you look up the story of the girl in Wisconsin, she doesn't even know how to speak the language. But now she's back in Laos and her country's American. And her 3 kids, her husband's disabled. They have 3 kids. They all depend on her. But mom did some years ago. They got her in trouble, and now she's deported back to Laos.
So let me ask, I got a couple questions I gotta ask because I'm just I'm kind of curious about some things. So like the first question I have is like, you being Laos or Laos people, why do they get
Lao?
Lao,
drop the S. Or my brother is gonna be like, drop the S. Yeah, my brother's really big on that.
The Lao people,
yes, Lao.
kind of like got a hard time, like how black people got a hard time. Why is that? Why do Southeast Asians get a hard time?
Because when we're here as immigrants, or refugees, we don't have money. People think that we have money, but Southeast Asians are different kinds of Asians. Like, we didn't come from generational wealth. If I get wealthy, I'll be the first, to become wealthy, right? In my family, because there's no generational wealth. There's none of that because we're from a third world country. But we come here and we have to work hard. We have to, but we're put in public assistance and we're put in different places where they redline too. Like, we're part of that too.
Got you. So you guys are being like redlined from like Chinese and Japanese and Korean type people? So
I don't really know how that works with the other groups because I'm familiar with just us. But from my understanding, they came, I guess probably some of them came further back than we did. I don't know. But I know that us Lao people just started coming like the late 70s. Yeah. When we were forced to come. Because after the 9-year bombings, when the American troops pulled out, our country got invaded by communists. And so they invaded our country, and everybody that didn't like the communist regime would flee for their lives, including my father. He was a teacher there. But he was one of the ones that were arrested by the communists, a prisoner of war. He was taken in and put in a prison camp. Yeah. For 2 years, he plotted his own escape. And that was a lot of other Lao civilians too. And so they would risk their lives crossing the Mekong River, and you'd see dead bodies floating around of other people like trying to risk their lives, leaving us, all this stuff that you hear stories of. And I know that we come here with nothing, right? Like we came here with $40 and a dream, like my book. And living in the projects of Elgin. We were in a slum apartment with, roof leaking and cockroach. And we had to turn off the lights. As soon as you turn it on, like,
right, roaches scattered.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because like the Laos, they lived with us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the community. Exactly. We was like, everybody was like cool, but then you have like Chinese or the Korean. Well, we just knew like maybe Chinese and Japanese.
From generational wealth, or maybe they came from generational.
So the Laos girls, they didn't mind dating black dudes.
They didn't.
No.
Oh.
Everybody else did.
Yeah.
So did your parents have an issue with you dating like interracially? Like
No. So my dad, he told me, I don't care who you date as long as they love you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, wow, very commendable of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other family members, on the other hand, I had a hard time at Elgin High School.
Really?
When I was a freshman, yes, because I was dating a black guy outside of my race, and I was bullied. That's mostly why I got in fights and was bullied. They were calling me sluts and whore, nigger lover all through high school.
Your family was?
No, these girls.
The girls?
Who end up dating outside their race too when they later on. Like, yes, back in high school, every corner I turned, you're a slut, you're a whore, you're a nigger lover. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Right.
So, as a child, you're like, okay, I got it from both sides.
But if I can be perfectly honest here,
yes, it's bananas.
If I can be perfectly honest here, Southeast Asians, they look black. I mean, so I couldn't really tell. Like, everybody has the same features in a sense. You know what I'm talking about? Like, hey man, Blasians is something. I mean,
yeah.
That's a real thing. Like in Madagascar, like Blasians is a real big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Southeast Asians tend to be because I don't know if it's the weather closer to equator, but we tend to be a little bit darker skin than some of other Asians, or but that could be why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my dad's a little bit darker as well because it's it's where our country is, the Southeast.
Yeah,
Asia.
Just a little bit of history, and I ain't gonna go there.
There's the history. Yeah,
I was just I was just watching about the original tribes in the Philippines were Africans.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was just watching that earlier. That's I mean,
yeah.
When people say black folks, they think about American blacks. Right. No, there's black people. There's all different shades of people. There's all different ethnicities around. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and that was
Ladybug trying to talk.
Ladybug. Hey, Ladybug. And that was the whole, reason why me and my husband started like our podcast, the Blasian Soul podcast. Because we shared our different points of view, me being Asian, him being black, trying to bridge that gap because there's so much division even between the black and Asian community. And there's just so much going on that we want to show that, hey, we have more in common than we don't.
No,
it's funny that's what I was saying. I don't really see the division because man, like I had a homie. Her name was Say Fong. Yeah. You know who Say Fong is? You know who
Rainy?
she is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We used to be at her house all the time.
Oh wow.
Say Fong ain't never dated none but black dudes.
Really?
Yes. If we're talking about the same person, she lived right by the fire station by Garfield growing up. I'm telling you, it's...
Yeah. I grew up with her. Call her Rainy.
Yeah. I think I last time I seen her was at a grocery store. Oh. Yeah. She was taller than all of us in elementary school. But yeah, they never dated nothing besides like black dudes. Yeah.
Maybe it's...
She like, wait a minute, are we talking about the
same one?
We
were talking about the same one?
Person?
Maybe it's after they bullied me and I left. No, just kidding.
She only dates.
Really?
Linda.
Yeah. Your friend Linda?
Oh. Yeah, and we were all cool, just like
but it wasn't...
just like when we rapped and stuff, drunken style records.
Oh yeah, we all was like we all grew up together.
We all grew up. We all was discriminated against. So we just all just
came together.
We all just came together.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I'm gonna date
trauma bonding.
Right, trauma bonding. And it wasn't like, hey, I'm just gonna date this guy just because he's black. No, it was, I liked some of the Caucasian guys. They just didn't like this Asian girl.
Right.
I mean, I liked some of the, Hispanic guys are like, I don't want no Asian girl, but it seemed like the ones who were attracted to me, were some of the black guys. So I'm like, okay, he likes me. So I guess I can like him back, so it wasn't like I just pick, I'm going to date this guy just because he's black. It wasn't like that because I've dated all races, but my first boyfriend was, Lao. So it was like, not like I picked you just because you're black. No, I picked you because you like me. I like you. We have chemistry.
Mhm.
You know, so that's the thing. That's it.
Yeah. So where
I
can
got
Go
a
ahead.
question
Yeah.
on that topic.
Yeah.
Who's better?
Wow.
No. I mean, TikTok.
What are you gonna say, Ro?
But I will say, my first was Asian, so
Oh, okay. Put it into perspective.
put it into perspective. It's
I
not
got
like,
you.
hey, it's not like, hey, you know, I'm gonna date you just because. No,
Right.
If I like you, if
There's
we're
something wrong with you,
vibing,
man.
if I like you, if we're vibing, then you know,
It's a good question.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
People be wanting to know. I thought that sometimes you want to try them,
and
but
no's
when you
in
hear
every race.
right, okay,
There's
yeah.
yeses and no's.
Yeah.
There's yeses and no's in every
For
race.
sure.
So is.
For sure.
There is, yeah.
But just what you hear about other races is like kind of scary in that area, you know. So it's like that's what I get nervous about. So I just was curious.
Okay.
Might want to try.
Oh, we gonna pray for. Lord, we gathered here today. Lord, we gathered here today, and we gonna ask that you bless this girl.
Well, you know, I've been with the same person for the last 20 years.
Right.
So,
Thanks. Yeah.
It's all
yeah,
good, man.
Yeah. And people are like, are you gonna start? No. Are you gonna start dating again? No. Don't ask me that. It's been 2 months. Like, seriously.
No, yeah.
And don't slide in my DM.
I know there's some dudes sitting back waiting.
For you.
Oh, wow.
People love the shoulder to cry
please
on.
do not slide in my DM to Mom, I'm here for you. No.
Don't need it.
Don't need it right now.
Wow.
Don't need it. I don't know if I ever need it. You know, because I'm learning to be me again, right? It was I'm a widow. I'm learning to be me again. For the past 20 years, it was a wife, a mother, everything to everybody. Like now I'm starting to learn myself. Like, who am I?
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
That is a whole
Right.
different.
Yeah, that is gonna be tough.
So I need that time to process who I am.
Yeah.
You know?
You may not how do you feel? How do you think the kids will feel if mommy dated again? You know what I'm saying? Like that's tough.
Yeah, I think so. It would be tough on them. It'd be tough on me.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You gotta
That is a lot, man. You gotta, because you still relatively young. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
still, I feel like I'm a grandma. I got 3 grandkids.
I mean, your kids just had kids early.
Yeah.
Don't make it seem like you're a grandma because you gotta be a specific age to be a grandmother. Nah.
Yeah.
But in that sense though, that's where it becomes scary because you know those when they say to death do us part, it's like okay, the Most High then releases you from this individual, but in our minds we think that we want to meet with this individual again in eternity, but you might cross another individual.
Sure.
While here on earth and now then in eternity, who do you go with?
That's deep.
You know?
Right. I thought about that the other day.
Damn, that is deep.
I was like, how does that work?
No,
Like,
seriously, that is deep.
how does that work?
So do you not
Right.
do you not
live like
you just have buddies? You see what I'm but then you don't want to just have buddies because you know
that comes with problems too.
Yeah, 2 or 3 buddies a year for the next 10 years.
Man, no.
Yeah, you know, that's a lot of mind, bodies, and souls.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Nah,
Dude.
I'm good.
That's
I'm good.
You become bag lady.
I am so good.
Yeah, that is.
I need to learn I need to learn who I am, who Pawn is, right? Who Pawn is.
Pawn is East Side.
Hey, East Side.
East Side.
Shorty.
Don't get started. Don't get it twisted. Oh wow,
we need to get some West Siders over here.
I was gangster back then. Like, look, tell people don't let me bring my gangster side back
Don't
out.
play with you.
Don't play with me.
Man, listen up. But no, that is something that most people don't really think about, you know, going into things.
How would you feel if people just start hitting you up today? Help me with this book.
You know, I'm happy to help. I told him, I'm happy to help you, give you resources to do it yourself.
Right.
I'm signing up.
You know, like I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you how to do it, what to do. Now, if I have to sit and do the work, then you got to go look at my branding fees, you know, and my other fees. But information shouldn't cost.
Right. No.
I want to see people win. I want to see you rise up. I was so bored during the pandemic. I was like, I opened up my line for free coaching and people would just sign up and I'll sit there all day for people from people all over the world, wherever the internet follows.
Right.
I made friends in London. I made friends in everywhere, wherever the internet flows. I'm like, my line's open. Anybody need help with anything, you know? But yeah, that's just, you know, that's
so
just.
So plug yourself so they can hit you up. Where can people follow you?
Laura Empowers.
Okay, so where do you get Laura from? I'm sorry.
Oh, Laura, you want to hear the story of that?
Because your name is Nipapon.
Yes.
That is a dope name. I like that name.
You like it?
Nipapon, yeah. And
people just keep butchering it. So now my husband refuses to call me by Laura.
I'll call you Nip.
Right. He doesn't call me Laura. So the reason after he passed, you see, I changed my name. Like I used to have Nipapon, but now I'm like Pawn. That's what he used to call me. Is Pawn. And that's my nickname. From Nipapon.
Okay.
Short, you know, it's short for Pawn, but I got my birth name from my grandfather, who I didn't think I would ever meet again. And I was born, like I said, in the refugee camp, homeless, outside the refugee camp. And he named me Nipapon, which means blessing from heaven. As he was trying to beg my mom not to leave, right? She's like had to leave out of the country. He's begging her to stay. He wanted me to be there. He knew I wasn't going to see him again. But then when I was in 3rd grade, my parents ended up getting their citizenship.
Okay.
So when your parents get their citizenship as a child, as a refugee child, you could pick an American name.
I didn't know that, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's why you got a Chinese dude named Edgar. So I'm like, come on, man.
He could be born here, though. A lot of us that were born here, they end up picking American names from the get-go, right?
Okay.
But I ended up, I had a list of 10 names. Elizabeth, Kathy, like all these different names. And I called my cousin Casey, one of my close cousins. I'm like, hey, these are 10 names here. Which one should I get? I'll go with Laura. And I was like, oh, I like Laura. Because a lot of my friends growing up in Elgin, right? They're Hispanic, right? So, Lauda, you know, I'm like, oh, I'll go with Laura. So that's how in 3rd grade, I switched my name to Laura. Well, so instead of it being my first name, we did Nipapon Laura Robertson.
Okay.
I mean, Sanavongse. My maiden last name is Sanavongse.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
That's neat. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Laura. And he refused, my husband refused to call me Laura. That's just your, what did he call their government name?
Given name.
So on your birth certificate is Nipapon.
I don't have a birth certificate. We don't have birth. I was born homeless. I don't have a birth certificate.
So let me ask you something then. Because let me tell you, I'm like a geography freak, right?
Sure.
So I was just I travel around the world on YouTube.
Oh.
So I just stumbled across this interesting thing that's in the Mideast.
Okay.
They don't have birth certificates, right? They don't know how old they are.
Wow.
They just guess.
Wow.
So do you really know how old you are?
I don't. Maybe. I really don't.
You've been going off of this same year the whole time.
That's why
you really.
I love it.
Craziest thing is, so like some of us come here and we don't have birth certificates. So some of the older ones that end up coming here, they end up putting their age back so they can go to high school. So they can finish their
they cheating. That's why they
not cheating.
But
that's smart.
It's smart.
Cheat the system.
But little did we know, it's not smart when you almost retirement. And so I have some uncles that are like, dang, can you switch my age back to 50? Can you switch my back to 65.
Oh shit.
Where's the immigration lawyer at?
No,
they
for
messed
real.
up on my paperwork. Can you switch my age back to 65? Because I'm tired of working.
No, for
they think
real.
I'm 55.
And now you got a whole
I can't. I got my
10 years.
knees going
You got
out.
10 more to go, partner. You got 10 more to go.
It backfires,
Yeah.
right?
Oh. So that
You
is
don't think
neat,
about
but
that.
You could be any
That's
age
crazy.
you want.
Any
No,
age you
for
want.
real.
You could be any
You could
age
be
you want,
any
man.
age you want.
Anybody you want,
And
low key.
birthdays,
Right.
like whatever birthdays you want to pick. You can see any loud people, a loud person. What's your real birthday? What's your birthday you picked? Well, what's your real birthday? Well, I picked February 14th because it's Valentine's Day. But my
Oh,
You know what?
and I do be talking to people on the phone. They be like, when you ask them
Yeah.
that, they be having to think.
right.
That is
Some
that
cultures do
is
have 2 days.
insane.
Is it the Latinos or is it the I think it's the Laos. They have 2 days. They
Loud
have
people.
How did it go, man?
Uh-huh.
Was it the day that you was born on? Then the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So like their birthdays, it was like 2 days.
Oh.
And they just picked.
I don't know.
Because when you did your research, it was one
Right.
of the countries.
Nah, man, we had a dude named Sam. We worked at the barbershop. This guy named was Sam, and he was telling us
Okay.
something.
Was he loud?
Yeah, yeah. And when it's like in your culture, they when like an elder died, they got to shave their head bald
Mhm.
completely.
Oh, speaking of that, when
Mhm.
my mom died, my husband, he didn't have to shave, but he became a monk.
Did he?
So yeah, you could see some of my pictures. He's 6'2" and 6'3", remind
Uh-huh.
you. Well, he's an orange outfit.
He got the
I have
orange
some-
outfit?
He got the orange outfit. He became a monk for a day to honor my mom.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
One of my clients now, his name is Kyron, and
Mm-hmm.
he had to shave all his hair. I was like, yeah, man. He had a lot of hair too, nice hair. And he was like,
yeah,
got to
sure,
become a
yeah.
monk.
for a day.
And then the next time I seen him, I'm like, what you doing? Fade it up. And I was like, you're not a monk no more. He was like, no. I was like, so wait a minute,
Well,
bro.
but-
You can be a monk for a few days
Yes,
and
one
then
day.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And here's the crazy part. So he would be a monk, and I would be. They call it Mekhao,
Uh-huh.
right? Mekhao. Meh means like kind of like a nun, I guess, if you want to say it, right?
Mhm.
We wear white, right? We wear white, and for a day, we're not married. So for a day, we're spiritual figures, right? And so I would have to tell my husband, like, you can't come close to me. I'm not your wife today. And he had a hard time with that. He's like, what? He's in his monk suit.
yeah.
Like, what you mean I can't hold
So
my
he in
wife?
his monk suit
But
and you
he
and your
respected it, right? He
Uh-huh.
respected the culture. And so he stayed away from me for the day. We're not to be close to each other. You're not my wife today. I mean, I'm not your wife today. You're not my husband today.
Can I crack a joke?
This is banana.
So if he ain't your wife for the day, can he holler at somebody else?
No, nobody. You cannot look at another woman. You are.
Wait a minute
No,
now.
you can't look
They
at
can't
women.
have it both ways now.
You can't look at women. You are a
What do you
spiritual
mean?
figure. You are a spiritual
Well,
figure.
what if he didn't choose the monk route, but you had to go and
He can't come close to me.
okay, so he
Guys
can't.
can't come close to women. Men cannot come close to women, and women cannot go anybody. Like if we had people come to the funeral,
Mhm.
they can't come close to the Mekhao, which is called Mekhao. We're wearing white
Mhm.
nuns, right? So nobody, like you came to the funeral, I'd have to like not hug. You can't hug them. You can't like give my condolences. I'm sorry. You know, no, you can't. I can't touch a guy. I can't hug if it's a male. I can't do any of that.
So did he have to shave his hair off his head too?
He's already bald.
Oh,
So that was easy. But he did. But he did have to shave off the hair in his face.
oh, now he looking like
All
the guy
hair
in the
his
van, huh?
face.
Like weirdo.
Right. He had to shave.
He looking like the
his-
creepster.
Yeah, everything on his face. So he was like, no, not the eyebrow dude. No, they let him keep his eyebrow.
They shave the eyebrows too.
Everything.
What? Before we go, what is the significant? Like, I couldn't imagine you have no expression. Just
Look
like
at it.
you just sitting there like you
Oh,
sad
for
as
real.
hell, but they can't tell you sad because you ain't got no eyebrow.
Or you mad? You're mad.
Oh, Yeah. Hey, tell us you're mad without. No, show us you're mad without telling us.
Right?
Like,
how do you do it? Yes. So, but then there's girls who pencil in their eyebrows too, right? And sometimes my cousin, she used to be in a hurry, and she would just shave off her, but then draw in her eyebrows. And I'd be like, "Cuz, you look surprised today. Go fix your eyebrows. Go fix your eyebrows. You look pretty surprised today."
Shit. Okay, I got one for you.
What?
Soul food.
What?
You like soul food or do you like Lao food?
I grew up with Lao food. But I love soul food.
You ever did a combo? Like fried chicken with
So me and my husband, we had which was a hit at the salon suite. I made some soul food egg rolls. Soul egg rolls?
Yeah, Will was cracking a joke, man. He said, "Yeah, tell her to make me some egg rolls."
Who?
Will Dumas.
Oh, Will. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, tell her to make some." I said, "Come on, bro."
Yes, really? Yes. But I made the Blasian soul egg rolls. It's
what
really
you had,
good.
like some greens and macaroni and cheese,
everything all in one, and it was really good. And that was his other dream and wish. He had a lot of them with our business because he's my business partner too. So we launched all the business together, and he gave me all these things to do before he passed. I want this. I want the media center. I want the Blasian soul egg rolls out. Like he was listing everything he wanted me to carry on.
You might can sell some Blasian egg rolls though. I mean some Blasian soul egg rolls. I was down in Belize.
Julia, everybody had some at the shop there. They love them.
I was down in Belize, and Belize has a heavy presence of Asians. I think they might be the Chinese though. So they'll make fried chicken and fried rice. Just like chicken and rice, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's being satisfied. The Chinese like the rice, and black like the chicken. You put it together.
That's one of
now you got you a Blasian meal, right?
That's one of his ingredients.
Yeah.
He gave me a bunch of ingredients and stuff he wanted me to put together.
Okay.
With the Lao and soul food together.
Yeah. So can you tell everybody where you're located at?
We're in Elgin, 75 Market Street, right behind the Jewel Osco. Larkin High School is right there as well, but we're behind the Jewel Osco in the Market Plaza, in that business plaza, right there.
Gotcha. Yeah, it comes to, what is your hours of operation?
So since everyone is sole proprietor, they do have their own hours for the salon, but if they go to beautifulpotential.com, like they can book with any of the stylists as well as get some more information on like the soul food, the menu and everything. So Beautiful Wellness Bar, they can go on there. The hours right now, starting off, we tried out 7 to 4, but we realized that we need to switch it because we need to do salon hours so we could open later. So we're looking at switching our hours in July to match our clients because they'll come and like, we want some drinks and no one's here, so we're going to cater our hours to our salon clients. So.
Gotcha. So let me get this right. Y'all selling egg rolls at the place?
I might. That's one of the things my cousin.
Now see that's what you call a balanced diet.
Right.
You gotta eat.
Well, Blasian so, but it's still a healthy meal. It's still a healthy meal.
You got a Blasian Southern style egg roll.
I know.
With a fat-free drink.
Fat-free drink.
No, seriously.
It's a balanced diet, right?
Balanced meal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, this is the segment of This is Bananas. This is Nessa's segment. Ness, what you got for us, baby girl?
I just got some stuff this weekend.
You got some stuff?
I've already asked her the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
But y'all were just speaking on food, and they do have a Taste of Lao this weekend at the Gale Borden Library. Saturday from 11 to 2. Do explain to me though, what's in green papaya salad?
So everyone makes it a little bit different, but however, the main ingredients is like the papaya.
Okay.
And then you have tomatoes, the lime, the pepper. You could put as much peppers as you want to, depending on your spice level.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you want to learn how to make papaya for yourself, my sister-in-law actually has a YouTube channel. She is called Cooking with Nana. She has all the Lao food on there.
Cooking with Nana.
Cooking with Nana.
What was the other one? Cooking with who?
Oh, I forgot. Cooking with Kaya or something.
Cooking with Nana.
Yeah, Cooking with Nana. Yep. And so if you watch their video, she started that out like an accident. She just uploaded some videos maybe 10 plus years ago because her friends liked her cooking and she would upload it so they can watch it on YouTube because they lived across state. But then it just blew up. So now like she is well known in the Lao community.
Okay.
As Cooking with Nana, so people learn how to cook from her channels. She has lots of different ingredients, lots of different Lao food, authentic Lao food that carried on from her mom and how she was taught from her mom. And now she's teaching us how to make all those authentic Lao food.
So a papaya salad is actually papaya?
Papaya.
A papaya with tomatoes. And when you say peppers, like
hot pepper.
Hot peppers.
Yes, they put a lot. Like depending on your spice level.
That goes together,
right? That mix sounds kind of
garlic.
crazy.
That mix sound like the flush out drink.
For me, yeah. It's like I gotta detox. I need
because papaya is gonna detox you anyway.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, time out. You setting folks up, man. Because if I'm sitting up here thinking about it logically,
right?
You got to flush out, and you done had peppers.
Oh no! Oh yeah!
You got like a volcano coming through. You need to sit in the tub of cold water.
I definitely thought that was cool. They got an author. He's making sticky rice and green papaya salad. So Taste of Lao this weekend. Awesome. Thought that was pretty neat. Gail Borden is also having readers there for like the kids. And I think it's pretty neat because a lot of them are Black authors. Like they got one, Nanny Nikki. Other one, sorry, I'm losing the name. Jacob Sing Along. They are Black authors, but they are going to be singing with the kids, dancing with the kids. Just something for the little kids to do. Also the Elgin Fresh Market. Been trying to get a lot of people to get down there. They do that every Friday for the summer from 3 to 7. The regular Fresh Market, meats, eggs, fresh stuff in Elgin. You can see a lot of the small businesses be down there. The Elgin Public House got a lot of events coming up, like their poker night, King of Trivia. What else is going on? Duke's Blues and Barbecue Festival this weekend.
Spend my nights all open the ballroom.
I am so excited about that. So definitely go check them out in Carpentersville. They're gonna be out there on Friday night and also all day Saturday. They got fireworks, parade. They got a bunch of stuff going on Saturday.
Nessa.
Yeah.
Why did you share that sign that said, "Please don't pop fireworks because the dogs be tweaking"? Would they stop? Listen,
I want you to be aware.
Facts,
Elgin is breaking down. They is not playing with people.
Hey, listen, we gonna light them fireworks off.
Please do.
It's either gonna be the fireworks or the other joints.
Just make sure y'all looking around the corner.
Yeah,
that's it. And
when the police complaining about fireworks, man, like damn,
people
right?
do complain though.
Come on, man. Jesus Christ,
seriously.
Man.
I think it comes a point where people complain when it gets too late. Sometimes people pop them too late, or they too fucking loud.
They just
like some of you having like the big dumb ones. It's like, why are we popping this in the mills? Like this
they went to Indiana and got that.
No, for real. For real. So definitely check that out. We definitely gonna be at Duke's Barbecue this weekend. So
I'm gonna go
definitely check them out. Oh, I did have a question. Just a little simple question. When the last time that y'all been pulled over by police?
Ooh.
Oh Lord.
For me it was Saturday night.
Dang, that was soon. Recent. Why? What was you doing? Why did they pull you over?
I was minding my business as usual.
What they say you was doing? What they say you was doing?
My license plate was expired.
Was it expired?
Like a motherfucker. Hey, look though.
Talking about minding my business, right? They looking at your plate.
I'm on Barrington Road. Barrington Road is full of traffic. You feel me? And it's nighttime.
Right.
They seen the rims on the car.
Yeah.
Tinted windows.
Tinted windows.
And have a park. And they like, yeah, we're pulling you over, dude.
Didn't we just talk about a rapper who got pulled over for expired tags? He had a whole pistol in the car. So, I
had all four windows rolled down and the interior lights on.
Wow.
Yeah.
They wanted to fuck with you, yeah.
They did. I gave them my phone. I was like, here you go, man. I had a picture of my shirt off. They was like, sir, that's not your ID card. I was like, oh, my bad.
It's one of those things I learned from.
I didn't get it.
Oh, your ID.
No, because my insurance card is on my phone.
Oh.
But I was like, oh, here you go. And there was a picture of me with my shirt off.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And it was like, sir, that's not your ID. That's not your ID. Oh, you right.
Goodness.
And it just
trying to bribe them.
No, it just messed with them, man. You do things. You got like
yeah. Fuck with people you want to fuck with.
Yeah, I actually
What
learned.
about you?
So I haven't been pulled over in quite some time, but I do have a story about getting pulled over. My husband, when we first moved here, he still had his business in Grand Rapids, so he would go there every Wednesday, and every time he came, he would drive there and come right back the same day. Every time he came back, he put his keys down, feeling defeated. And I'm like, what's wrong? I just got pulled over again. I was like, no, you didn't. Because, you're not late because you got pulled over again. No.
Right.
So I was like, no, you didn't. And so one Wednesday I ended up going with him. Guess what?
Pulled over.
Again, he gets pulled over. So this time I got to experience it with him. So I'm sitting there with him, and this cop pulls us over. License, registration, please. And it's always around the same area, like around Indiana, as soon as you cross over to Indiana. And that's where we were. I'm going to my friend's funeral, okay? I'm in black outfit. He's in his 3-piece suit. License, registration, please. And then he handed his registration. Sir, can you please step out the car? Sir, is there any, are there any guns? Any, like, why are you? So I got upset because I'm like, I'm about to miss my friend's funeral. And so can you tell us why we got pulled over? You're driving for too long on the left-hand side of the highway.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But there's other people doing it. So what, ma'am? We caught you.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I was like,
yeah, most people don't think that. You're not. So most people think that
too long on the left-hand side.
Most people think that Ashley thinks that you can drive on the left-hand side.
Like the slow lane?
No, the far left, the fast lane, that you can drive in the left lane doing 90 miles an hour. And I'm like, no, you can't drive in the left lane doing 90 miles. The left lane is a temporary lane. So you're supposed to ride in the middle or the right lane. The middle was the fast lane. That's 7 to 75 miles. So when you get somebody doing 65 in the middle lane, you get in the left lane, do 80 to get in front of them. But some people will do 80 and they'll take the stretch, and the state trooper will.
But a lot of people were driving there is what I'm saying. You driving too long, but I'm like, but look at all those people.
You'll get a ticket for that.
I did not.
Yep.
But a lot of people were doing that. And I was mad because I'm in a hurry. Like, you pulled us. Well, I caught you, not them. But when he got pulled over, he got pulled over another time because my dad's car. He ended up driving my dad's car because my dad had too much to drink, right? So he's driving my dad's little tiny Lexus. He's 6. My husband's 6'2". He's driving my dad's little tiny Lexus, and so cop pulls him over. And sir, why did we get pulled over? Because he was looking for the GPS, looking for directions and how to get my dad safely to our hotel. And he's looking like, do you know this person? Like, why he's with this sir, asking my dad, sir, do you know this person?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's my son-in-law.
Right?
It's my son-in-law. Oh, God. Leave us alone.
No, for real. Oh my God.
I was like, he's your son-in-law, huh?
Hey,
well, what's his name?
He's my son-in-law.
Right.
Hey, leave us alone. And because he know how the cop like to mess with,
I just got pulled over and I was all the way in the wrong. We had went to Jewel right up the street from the house. So on the way back, I let the kids do whatever. Like, I was just like exhausted from the day. So I let the big kids sit in the car seat. I let the little kids sit on the other side. Nobody got seatbelts on. All the windows down. rolling up to a stop sign. Mind you, I'm trying to just hurry up and get home. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Roll up to a stop sign, but I rolled the stop sign. You know how you don't stop all the way, you just roll through. He coming this way to the other stop sign. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm driving still. I'm like, straight. I know I got to turn left, and I already know my left turning signal out.
You supposed to stick your hand out the window then.
Damn.
Sure, you better read the rule and everything. Get that rule of the road book.
I hit the turn signal, but I knew it was out.
And your hand, your windows was already down.
Right over. Then mind you, so when he comes to the window, the little baby, she all in the front, like, girl, sit down. You ain't got no seatbelt on.
Right. Oh my goodness.
He let me go though, and it wasn't my car, so I had to wait for the insurance to get texted to me. So I'm sitting there.
AC in that bad boy.
No, there's no AC in that car.
What?
No.
And it was 100 degrees?
It was 100
Oh
degrees.
no.
Yeah, that's why he let you go.
So it was a lot going on. Just like flushed. I was so exhausted that day. I was like, I can't take no more. And he pulled me over, and I was just like, you know how you just surrender. Like, what do you want?
It's too hot.
Here you go. Like, he just let me go with a warning. Oh my goodness.
I feel sorry for who ain't got no air conditioning in their car. You better go get a fan with a cigarette lighter or something, because
one time I had to put tissues all under my chest so it could just catch the sweat. I would drive like this so my armpits don't sweat.
Hey, Ness, you might as well catch the bus. You might as well catch the bus and catch an Uber. You heard me? Like,
I'm trying to raise my credit score, okay, to get a better car.
That bad boy got no AC. You and that motherfucker bacon.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, look.
What you think I'm in the sun? No, I'm in the car. The car be hotter than outside, for real. It do be.
Oh,
you get out the car just drenched.
Listen.
And you ain't gonna want to do nothing.
Listen, right. I'd be exhausted. Sweating.
You just lost 10 pounds.
I'd be having to change at my friend's house because like the clothes just gonna get ruined.
And you just driving and just hot air blowing in that
just
bad
hot
boy.
Air.
Hey, we grew up without air conditioning in the house. You know?
I've never had central air. Right, what are you saying? Right. This is okay.
And our folks will put the fan in the window.
Yeah. Listen.
Blowing it hot air. Like, you supposed to turn it around and take the hot air out. Like,
no, seriously.
It's the exhaust. Why are you blowing it in?
Seriously.
Yep.
Or I've always had a house with the AC just in the living room. So everybody just sitting in the living room. Got all the doors open.
Our kids have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
My son be like, here you go with back in the day.
Because back in the day, back in the day is what made us survival.
It's called survival.
The air conditioner went out here. It did, man.
Oh, no.
So and so I got the high ceilings upstairs. So I had to take the portable air conditioner, put it into one of the smaller rooms and close it and let it get cold. The dog was tweaking. You know? He just was stressed out on the floor. She didn't want to do nothing. I'm like, oh my God, man, she finna overheat, you know.
Do Queenie act out with fireworks?
No. She chill.
She chill.
Yeah, man.
Y'all pop them?
Nah, I don't pop fireworks, man.
She just be chilled up.
Yeah, I pop something else. I don't pop no fireworks. Yeah, dog, you can't tell the difference.
No, seriously.
Just being in the back, you're like.
We used to do that on the 4th. For real. I popped my first gun on the 4th.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, man.
Wow.
Well, Pawn, thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
I will be to see about you, man. I promise you this, because you got too much information.
I do.
I always tell people, if you on Facebook and you got all them friends on Facebook and ain't nan one of them resourceful, you don't need them. Seriously, you should be able to get any and everything that you need because you got all them people. You got 4,500 friends on Facebook,
right?
And you need to find chair cushions.
Yep.
No, for real.
FY, what is it? In search of chair cushions.
And I love Facebook just for that.
Yeah.
I bet who got this?
Yep. They'll be like me.
Right. Or tag them quick.
Yeah. I got you. I got
love
you.
it.
Yeah, man. So
but and also I have my speakers website too, because I'm a speaker as well. So it's Laura-Robertson.com.
We gonna work. We gonna work together. I promise you this. See, all this happened because the Most High. I manifested it. I see things. So I be having visions too. Like I envisioned a podcast. Like Ness visioned a podcast, and I was like, I'm gonna get a podcast. But I was like, should I get somebody? I was like, I put a thing out there. Like I was like, wait a minute, Vanessa.
That's how it was born.
Yeah, that's how I was born, man. It was a sugar to the water.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Without a doubt, man. Well, thank you for coming by, man. You have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of things going on, and I pray for prosperity. You know what I'm saying, and success. Because I know you by listening to you, I know if you winning, you're gonna take a lot of people with you to win. And not a lot of people.
Elgin neighborhood where that lifted me up to where I am.
I love that.
Are you are you a dancer?
I want to learn how to dance this year.
Yeah,
I do. That's my goal, to learn Spanish and to learn how to dance.
Not boots on the ground. I still don't know how to do this.
Do you? Why don't you show us?
Right.
that is a girl dance.
Oh. Is this the one where they be rolling their hips?
No, that's the other one. Yeah. You wanna try to do this dance though?
I'm gonna have to learn.
Okay. We got y'all on next episode, man. Tuning in with us, man. Oh, yeah, we ain't gonna be here next week in lieu of I ain't even gonna say that because we didn't even do nothing for Juneteenth.
Right.
Yeah, 4th of July is gonna be.
You did?
I think. Just have a happy and safe holiday.
Be yeah, go get your kids some outfits. Come to the book you if you and listen. I'm not cutting here on the 4th of July. I'm gonna take my paid holiday off. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, be safe, peace, love, and happiness.
Later, y'all.
Later.